Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. When people think of the Super Nintendo, the first things that come to mind are often Super Mario World, Chrono Trigger and The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And while those are undisputed classics, the system has a wealth of hidden gems that never quite got the recognition they deserved. Some of them were overlooked due to poor marketing, others released late in the console's life, and few were just simply ahead of their time. In today's episode, we're diving into 7 underrated SNES games that deserve a second look. These titles brought something special to the table, whether it be innovative gameplay, deep storytelling, or stunning graphics. They've built quite a cult following in the decades since. And as always, if you do like this video and think I deserve it, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. If you want to hear more of me, we've got a weekly podcast where this week we are covering Turok the Dinosaur Hunter for the N64. And we also have a $1 a month Patreon where you can join the Smut Squad and get your own show. Let's get into it, shall we? 7 underrated games for the SNES. The Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Developed and published by Konami in 1992, The Legend of the Mystical Ninja is one of the most definitely unique action-adventure games on the SNES, or SNES. I'll say either way, we know come on, we've had this before. Known in Japan as Gambra Goemon, and I'm not even attempting to say the rest of it because I'm going to butcher it and offend someone from Japan, it's actually the first Goemon title localized for Western audiences. The game mixes quirky Japanese humor, side-scrolling platforming, and open-ended town exploration in a way that was completely fresh for its time. The story follows Kid Ying, or Goemon, and Dr. Yang Ibusumaru, yet that really confused me when I played the game. I was like, why have they got different names, and why does the box art look completely different? I've actually finished this, I loved it, but either way, 2 bundling heroes on a quest to rescue a kidnapped princess. Along the way, players travel across a cartoon furnish of feudal Japan, encountering bizarre characters, mini-games, and surreal enemies. The narrative balances parody and charm, poking fun at Japanese folklore, while maintaining an adventurous tone. Visually, this game looks awesome. It embraces a vibrant anime-inspired art style that pops off the screen, filled with whimsical enemy design, elaborate boss fights, and charming townscapes. The sprite work here is really good, like it's crisp, expressive, and bursting with personality with every era brimming with detail. Gameplay is split between side-scrolling action levels and exploration sequences. Players can upgrade their weapons, participate in gambling mini-games, and even enjoy cooperative multiplayer. The combat is simple but satisfying, and while the town sections offer depth and replayability, I love exploring the towns, but it's still very difficult because enemies come from absolutely everywhere. What makes the game truly stand out is its genre fusion. It seamlessly blends elements of RPGs, action platformers, and open-world exploration, and it's a bold design choice at the time. Add in the catchy music, which is very good, and a sense of irreverent humour, you've got something special. Despite its strengths, Mystical Ninja really didn't catch on in the West, and its heavy reliance on Japanese culture may have alienated some audiences in the early 90s, and it never received that marketing push that there were similar titles may have enjoyed. Critics who did review at the time gave it praise for its originality, but it was overshadowed by more conventional titles. Still, it developed a loyal following, especially among import fans and those who discovered it through rental stores. I discovered it for the obvious reasons for the N64 version, and I love that game, so I was obviously going to play the Super Nintendo version. Its legacy is strongest in Japan, where the Goemon series has thrived with multiple sequels, spin-offs, and even anime adaptations. Although you haven't for a while, bring out a new one, stupid Japan, stupid Konami, make another game for God's sake. In the West, however, it remains one of Konami's most underappreciated properties, damn you all. In the modern day, fans continue to push for a re-release or remaster, and The Legend of the Mystical Ninja is often cited as a must-play hidden gem on the SNES retrospectives. It even gained more attention after being featured on various retro game channels. If you're looking for an SNES title that breaks the mold, combines rich Japanese aesthetics with arcade action and RPG mechanics, and offers that 2-player fun, Mystical Ninja deserves a place in your collection. Metal Warriors. Released in 1995 and developed by LucasArts and published by Konami, Metal Warriors is a cinematic action platformer that plays like a spiritual successor to Cybernator. I could probably put that on this list as well. But make no mistake, this is a highly polished, inventive title that stands firmly on its own. You pilot giant mechs in a dystopian future, battling enemy forces across space stations, war zones, and alien-infested strongholds, and that's my type of game. The story centers around a rebel pilot named Stone fighting against the oppressive Dark Axis regime. With a variety of mechanized suits at his disposal, Stone infiltrates enemy territory in a desperate bid to turn the tide of a galactic war. The plot unfolds through gritty mission briefings and visual storytelling, classic sci-fi tropes with an edge. And what immediately grabs your attention is the level of graphical detail. Metal Warriors is visually stunning, with highly animated mechs, destructible environments, and smooth transitions. The pixel art has a metallic sheen that reinforces the high-tech world. Explosions are satisfying, which they should be, and each mech has a unique animations and visual flair. Gameplay, however, is where this game really shines. Each mission gives you access to a different mech with its own abilities. Some can fly, others have grappling hooks or massive guns. I like ones with laser swords, but this isn't Gundam Wing. You can eject from your suit and infiltrate small passageways, hijack enemy mechs, or escape before yours explodes. It's dynamic, strategic, and rewarding. The game also has a 2-player versus mode, which is an unexpected treat for single-player focus game of its type. Mech battles with friends added longevity and replay value. The controls here were tight, allowing for precise platforming and thrilling aerial skirmishes. So why is Metal Warriors underrated? Well, for one, it was released very late in the SNES lifecycle, when the PlayStation and Saturn were already dominating the headlines. On top of that, many gamers confused it with Cybernator, leading to missed opportunities. Critics praised its technical achievements, but it wasn't widely reviewed due to its low distribution and minimal advertising. It did become a cult hit almost exclusively through word of mouth and retro game collectors. Today, the game is regarded as one of the most technically advanced action titles on the SNES. Physical copies commanding high prices on the secondary market, and it's a staple in lists of rare gems worth revisiting. If you love your giant robots, tactical action, and cinematic 16-bit presentation, Metal Warriors is a forgotten masterpiece that begs to be rediscovered. Actrazer. Now, I know what a few of you are going to be saying. I know about Actrazer. Actrazer shouldn't be on this list. But how many people do you think don't know about Actrazer and don't often put it in maybe top 10s or top 20s? I think this is underrated because I've played this and I think it's a gem. It's been on the podcast and I think it's a hidden little gem which more people need to hear about. Now, this game was released in 1990 by Enix and developed by Quintet. Actrazer was one of the most ambitious titles of its time, blending two very different genres, side-scrolling action and city-building simulation. It was a bold experiment that really paid off. You take on the role of the Master, a godlike being who descends to Earth to get rid of evil and guide humanity's rebirth. The story unfolds across several regions, each plagued by demonic forces and in need of divine intervention, because clearly. After clearing out the monsters in the side-scrolling action stages, the little angelic little guy with his little crossbow, oh he's so cute, helps townspeople rebuild, fend off enemies and expand civilization. The result, that game that both feels mythic and grounded in human struggle. Graphically, Actrazer pushed the SNES hardware with impressive parallax scrolling, detailed sprites and lush environments. The boss designs are imposing and the animations are smooth, and the contrast between the divine and corrupted worlds is visually compelling. I love the music as well here because the cinematic flair rivals some of the console's biggest names. The gameplay is where Actrazer truly distinguishes itself. The action stages are tight with responsive controls and challenging enemies, and the stimulation segments are surprisingly deep for their time, with city planning, resource management and even event triggers. And balancing both styles creates a satisfying gameplay loop that keeps you engaged from region to region. And what made it underrated was its hybrid gameplay. Some players loved the action but ignored sim portions, while others appreciated the world building put up by the platforming. And this was the problem, because this genre fusion confused the marketing efforts and led to mixed expectations. While reviews were generally positive, the game struggled to maintain visibility once more straightforward action games dominated the market. It had a sequel in 1993, Actrazer 2, and it removed the simulation aspects entirely, disappointing fans who'd fallen in love with the game's originality, and I think that's where this game shined. Having one on its own, it wouldn't do the job, but when you put them both together, it's great. And again, it keeps that gameplay loop as like, I'm going to kill things, I'm going to build things, I'm going to kill things, I'm going to build things. Although in theory, yes, you can kill your people, and maybe I may have killed the people a few times because I thought it was funny watching them rebuild and going, ha ha, lightning. Yeah, I went around that the wrong way. I should have played that game better, but I did finish it. Really enjoyed it. Today, Actrazer is celebrated as a cult classic, with retrospectives acknowledging its innovation and influence. It's frequently cited as a pioneer in genre-mixing design, and its soundtrack remains one of the most iconic in SSN history. The game's legacy was honoured with a 2021 HD remake, Actrazer Renaissance, though the new art style kind of divided the fans. Still, the remake helped shine new light on this unappreciated gem, bringing it to a wider audience. If you want a game that challenges your reflexes and your brain, and isn't afraid to be different, Actrazer still holds up as one of the most unique experiences on the SNES. Blackthornne. Developed by Blizzard Entertainment and released by Interplay in 1994, Blackthornne is a cinematic action platformer that often gets overlooked when discussing SNES classics. It borrows heavily from the rotoscoped animation style popularized by Prince of Persia, but infuses it with gritty sci-fi fantasy and heavy metal attitude. You play as Kyle Blackthornne Valeros, I probably got that wrong, but you gotta read these things. A muscle-bound warrior with sunglasses, a shotgun and a mysterious past. What more do you want? After being exiled from the planet Tull as a child, Kyle returned to liberate his enslaved people and defeat the demonic Sarlacc. The stories revealed through cutscenes and environmental storytelling give the game an immersive cinematic flair, and did I say he's got a shotgun? Visually, Blackthornne stands out with its dark, industrial environments and smooth, lifelike animations. The backgrounds are richly textured, filled with pipes, shadows, and alien architecture. Enemies are grotesque and intimidating, and Carl's deliberate, confident movements exclude coolness, and he's got a shotgun. The gameplay is methodical and deliberate. Carl can hide in the shadows, dodge bullets, and fire back with brutal efficiency. Puzzles require you to collect keys, activate switches, and rescue prisoners. The combat's simple but intense, rewarding timing and patience over simple brute force. But what really sets it apart is its tone. Blackthornne is dark, moody, and violent. The game doesn't shy away from depicting executions, mutilated prisoners, or bleak landscapes, so a standard day in Liverpool. It captures a mature, dystopian feel that was rare for Nintendo consoles at the time. Released late in the SNES lifecycle, it didn't receive the exposure it deserved. Some critics dismissed it as a clone of Flashback or Out of This World, although arguably it surpasses both in terms of control and atmosphere. While Blackthornne did get a PC port and even a 32X version, it was never a mainstream hit. But over the years, fans and reviewers have gone back to it, praising its style, mood, and tight gameplay. It helped establish Blizzard's early reputation for quality even before Warcraft or Diablo hit the scene. The game has been a digital re-release on modern platform, allowing a new generation to appreciate its cinematic design. Its dark setting and anti-hero protagonist made it feel like Metal Gear Solid of the SNES era. For those seeking a moody, methodical action game with badass style, Blackthornne is an absolute must-play and one of the most criminally overlooked titles on the SNES. Front Mission Gunhazard. Front Mission Gunhazard is a 1996 Japan-only release developed by Omiya Soft and published by Squaresoft. While it shares its name with the Front Mission tactical RPG series, Gunhazard takes the franchise in a bold new direction, combining mech combat with side-scrolling run-and-gun action in a sprawling, interconnected world. Set in a future dominated by corporate welfare and political instability, you play as Albert Grabner, a soldier caught in the global power struggle. Equipped with a Wanzer, a customizable mech, Albert must navigate betrayal, war, and resistance movements across a war-torn Earth. The game features deep world building and branching narrative paths. Graphically, Gunhazard is stunning. Its detailed environments range from high-tech cities and jungle outposts to frozen tundras and underwater bases. The sprite work is beautifully animated and the mechs feel heavy and mechanical. Explosions, smoke, and weather effects add grit and realism to the battlefield. The gameplay blends the tight controls of Metal Slug with RPG progression. You can upgrade your Wanzer. I'm sure that's not how it's pronounced. I keep wanting to say Wanker, but I'm going to go with Wanzer, but I swear to God I may as well call it the Wanker machine because it's probably more closer to what it should be. For God's sake. Either way, you can upgrade your Wanzer with new weapons, armor, and System C. It just doesn't sound right. As you complete missions, you level up, earn money, and enhance your arsenal. Missions range from infiltration to full-on mech warfare, with diverse objectives and set pieces. Unlike most linear action games, Gunhazard offers a world map with mission select options, dialogue interactions, and pilot recruitment. You can choose companions with different abilities, adding variety and strategic depth. It's far more ambitious than most action platformers. So why is Gunhazard underrated? Well, simple main reason, it never left Japan. Western players never got to experience it during the SNES lifecycle, and it wasn't until fan translations appeared online that English-speaking gamers began to understand just how good this game really was. Critically, it was absolutely praised in Japan, but its Western legacy remains niche. Even among import fans, it's often overshadowed by the turn-based front mission games. Its hybrid nature may have confused fans expecting another strategy RPG. However, since synth gained cult status, many now see Gunhazard as one of the best mech games of the 16-bit era. Its combination of exploration, customization, and action was years ahead of its time. If you're looking for a game that merges RPG elements with side-scrolling action with deep storytelling and customization, Front Mission Gunhazard deserves your attention, and it's a hidden jewel in Squaresoft's 16-bit crown. Sunset Riders. Sunset Riders, developed and published by Konami in 1993, is a Wild West-themed side-scrolling run-and-gun shooter that never quite received the praise it deserved during the SNES run. Originally an arcade game, the SNES version brought the gunslinging chaos to consoles with vibrant visuals, thrilling gameplay, and a bold personality of its own. Set in a stylized version of the American Old West, you play as one of 4 bounty hunters: Steve, Billy, Bob, or Cormano, tasked with bringing justice to a list of dangerous outlaws. Each stage focuses on a different bounty target and features unique environments like saloons, canyons, speeding trains, and Mexican forts. Graphically, Sunset Riders is bursting with colour and charm. Despite its Western theme, it avoids gritty realism in favour of a cartoonish, almost anime-like aesthetic. Characters are expressive, enemies are completely exaggerated, and the explosions are flamboyant. Every level has distinct backgrounds that are filled with fun little animations, from stampeding bulls to collapsing bridges. Gameplay, as it should be, is fast and fluid and fun. It draws clear inspiration from Contra but trades military hardware for 6 shooters and sombreros. You dodge bullets, slide through saloon doors, and fire in 8 directions. Do you get a few shots at the end of it though? I think a few shots of whiskey would be quite good. There's bonus stages, power-ups and horseback chases keep the action varied. Boss fights in particular are creative and memorable. What makes Sunside Riders stand out is its attitude. There's a light-heartedness here. The voice samples, the banter, the animations, this gives the game the real personality. And it never takes itself too seriously, that makes it more enjoyable. It's a game built for co-op chaos and arcade-style thrills. So why is it underrated? Well, part of it comes down to timing. By 1993, the SNES library was filled with heavyweight RPGs, cinematic platformers and innovative action games. A straightforward shooter, even one this polished, simply didn't get the spotlight. And compared to the original arcade version, the SNES port was toned down slightly, leading some critics to dismiss it unfairly. Reviews were generally favourable, but not glowing. The game was praised for its visuals and pace, but was criticised for its short length and lack of difficulty. However, those who played it with a friend quickly discovered its true charm. As a co-op experience, Sunset Riders is a blast. Its legacy has only grown over time. Today it's considered one of the best Western-themed video games ever made. Retro fans celebrate its humour, pacing and style, and it's a frequent entry on Hidden Gems lists and is still beloved by speedrunners and co-op gamers. If you love games with instant pick-up and play appeal, creative boss fights and memorable tunes, Sunset Riders is a rootin' tootin' good time that deserves a place in every SNES collection. I'll see myself out. And finally, the Seventh Saga. Developed by, produced and published by Enix in 1993, the Seventh Saga is a role-playing game known for its brutal difficulty, minimalist storytelling and unique design choices. At a glance it may seem just like another turn-based RPG, but underneath lies a bold experiment in player freedom, rivalry and atmosphere. Set in the fantasy world of Tichondra, I probably said that wrong, you choose one of 7 characters, each with their own backstory and motivations, to search for the 7 magical runes scattered across the land. The twist? The 6 characters you don't choose will still be out there, and some will eventually compete against you. This creates a dynamic narrative where allies can become enemies and vice versa. Graphically, the Seventh Saga stands out with a clean visual style. Towns are sparse and symmetrical, dungeons oppressive and maze-like. The enemy designs are haunting and abstract and almost alien in aesthetic. The Mode 7 overworld gives a pseudo 3D look that was impressive for its time, and reinforced the game's lonely, brooding tone. The gameplay features traditional turn-based combat, but adds wrinkles like visible enemy encounters, rare at the time, rune-based magic boots, and a radar system that lets you track enemies and objectives. Stat growth is individualized, and the game encourages trial and error with party combinations and rune powers. The main reason this game is considered underrated, its infamous difficulty. The North American localization increased the challenge substantially, making enemy stats significantly higher than the Japanese version. This made the game a grueling, sometimes unfair grind. Many players give up, missing out on its deeper mechanics and character arcs. That's why you need to grind. Life is a grind, and I love the grind. Reviews at the time were quite mixed, sorry. Critics appreciated its ambition, but were turned off by its punishing design, slow pacing, and possibly the grind. It was overshadowed by Final Fantasy VI, Secret of Mana, and other more accessible RPGs. As a result, it fell through the cracks of most Western players. However, the Seventh Saga has built a loyal cult following. Some fans love it especially for its harshness, as it offers a level of challenge and strategic planning rarely found in JRPGs of the era. Its unique rivalry system was ahead of its time, and has influenced modern games like Octopath Traveler. Fans' discussion and retrospectives have given the game renewed attention. Speedruns, challenge runs, and deep dives into the mechanics have helped reframe its misunderstood gem. It's no longer seen as just merely difficult, but as deliberately and artfully punishing. If you're a seasoned RPG fan looking for something outside the norm, and a game that really tests your resolve and gives you a unique narrative structure, the Seventh Saga offers a cold, challenging, but ultimately rewarding journey unlike anything else on the SNES. And that's it! 7 games which I think are completely underrated. Have I got this completely right? Are there more than I need to hear about? If so, let me know in the comments below and we can always make a part 2, part 3 going forward. And for those who don't know, I'm currently on my own now for 40 days as my family are in the UK. So whilst they're away, I'm going to be grinding on this YouTube page and the podcast to try and prepare as much content for you guys as I can. So if you really think I deserve it, hit that like and subscribe button, and maybe we can get to 10k by the time the wife comes back from holiday. Until then, I'll see you all in 3 days for another video. My name's been Danny, take care of yourself, bye bye.